Week 8's edition of What's More Likely. I'm excited because we've had bangers and overreactions. We've had a great power rankings on Wednesday. Now it's overreaction Thursday, but not overreaction Thursday. What's More Likely Thursday. I'm excited to see what we got. I'm going to send it your way and take a sip of my Ghost energy drink, Swedish fish flavored, because, you know, I like the grossest, sweetest things you could possibly toss my way, which is wild because you'll catch me either drinking one of these or black coffee. So it's one or the other. I'll toss it to you. What, God?
I was going to say the Swedish fish. I didn't even know that they would make that a flavor of energy drink, but now that I do, I'll know to avoid it.
It's delicious. It does taste like Swedish fish, but your teeth hurt a little bit at the end of it. So
I would assume so. Assume so. But let's get into what's more likely. Starting off hot with this one. What is more likely, Noah? Cooper Kupp is traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, or Justin Fields starts another game this season?
Oh, that's a good one. You started off with a bang. I'll give you that one. You started off with this is red hot. This is a red hot start to this what's more likely. You have to go what's more likely Cooper Kupp where we stand right now, right? I mean, the trade rumors are hot. The Rams season is pretty much over, very close to over, if it's not already over. The Steelers are actively pursuing Cooper Kupp, so you have to believe that they are at least going to try. They're going to see what they can do here, see if they can figure this out. Justin Fields, I mean, the only way he's getting back in there right now is if Russell Wilson goes down with an injury, which is possible. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely possible. But you got to feel more likely about Cooper Kupp, right? You have to feel more likely about the Steelers making a wide receiver trade than changing quarterbacks once again right now where we stand. And the leader of that wide receiver topic, that conversation, is Cooper Kupp. So you got to go Cooper Kupp. Right now, I'm going Cooper Kupp. That one's crazy because chances of either of those happening are not very high. But Cooper Kupp, which seems like a crazy long shot, is probably much less long than the Steelers making another quarterback change. And I'm going Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I think I would go there too, especially in a week where Russell Wilson did what he did last weekend. I think everybody's leaning more towards Cooper Kupp, especially because there's an end date on that one. The end date on that one is November 5th. So we only have about 2 weeks until we actually get the answer of yes or no on that one. Whereas as far as Justin Fields is concerned, we got 2 months to see if that ends up being the case. So I like it. I like your thought process there. Let's go over to the next one. What's more likely? The Steelers offense scores 30-plus points for the third consecutive week, or the defense collects more than 4 sacks on the New York Giants.
Can I go both on this? Can both be an answer on this? What's more, I mean, if I had to take a guess of what's going to happen on Monday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers go 3 games over 30 points, and that's the talking point on Tuesday. Everybody's losing their minds about our overreaction. One of them is something along the lines of the Steelers have the best offense in football, something crazy like that. And TJ Watt might collect 4 sacks himself. He's going up against nobody. There's no Andrew Thomas is out. The Steelers are facing an offensive line that has nothing left to give. So you got to imagine 4 sacks are going to happen. I mean, easy. You got to imagine 4 sacks are going to happen easy, but you also have to, like, 30 points seems easy right now. 30. If it was 32 again, or if it was just 30 for the Steelers last week, you'd say like, okay, 4 sacks. You don't know if they're going to do that. 37 points. That's a lot of points. Like you are well north of 30. You're looking 40 at that point. You know, you get a little bit more time on that clock or something. That's a 40-point football game. Beanie Bishop scores that touchdown and you add a couple more seconds onto that clock. Who knows? Who knows how the game turns out? Maybe you score 40. I'm going to pick between them because I don't feel right saying both. But I would go both. I'm gonna go what's more likely, the 4 sacks, because I mean it's a guaranteed 4 sacks. I feel it's not a guaranteed 30 points. It's a guaranteed 4 sacks. I don't know what Daniel Jones' sack numbers are, but I have a hard time believing he's been sacked less than 4 times in a game this season.
I think the average right now is 3.7.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
much that means 3 point. That means he's been sacked 4 or more times in every game, but one of them, and that one was like one sack,
yeah.
probably against nobody. So that's what happened there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the thought. And also, TJ Watt's coming off a game where he had one
Yep.
tackle. He's not going to be happy, especially
No.
because his overall sack numbers are low. If they don't chip him like everybody has already chipped him, he's going to take over the game. And if they don't, this is Alex Highsmith, week 2, coming back
Yes.
from injury. So I feel like it could get pretty dangerous for Daniel Jones in the Giants' backfield.
There's this chill in the air. The leaves are hitting the ground, and football is every single weekend. And that, my friends, is what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting into the action with our partners, DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using my promo code ALLSteelers, and guess what? The crown is yours. That's $200 in bonus bets instantly. You could stay in on the action and use that $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings, because DraftKings is the place to bet touchdowns. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You could still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use my promo code ALLSteelers and bet just $5 on any wager get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSteelers only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
But let's go over to what's more likely. Minkah Fitzpatrick gets his first interception of 2024, or any of the front 7 get their first instead.
Any of the front 7. So we're going Peyton
Wilson, Patrick Queen, who's I think
Queen.
dropped 2 already this year.
Yeah.
You said Cam Hayward could get one earlier this week, so I think that throws a little bit of a wrench into this one.
He could. It's just a bigger quantity. Like there's a bigger surface here, area to cover. I'm going front 7, and I hate that I'm doing this. I hate that I'm going front 7, but Minkah just doesn't get his hands on the football like that anymore. And I mean, look at Minkah's a phenomenal football player. He's an all-pro. He's one of the best safeties in the NFL, hands down, no questions asked. But he just doesn't get the hands on the football like he used to. And I don't know if that's just offense is completely eliminating him from the ball game. I don't know if it's because he's not supposed to play near the football and the Steelers just don't want him to play near the football because they understand that he could take away half the field, and that means that the offense won't go there, which is smart. I don't know. What I do know is that TJ Watt comes up with interceptions. Alex Highsmith comes up with interceptions. Cam Hayward's got an interception on Daniel Jones. Patrick Queen's dropped 2 of them. Peyton Wilson's due for something. Even a Landon Roberts. Like there are a lot of bodies there that could come up with an interception. I'm going to go front 7. I mean, it's Daniel Jones would be nuts in a game like this to throw one deep up against Minkah. But I mean, he'd also be nuts to throw it right at TJ Watt's face, and there's a chance he's going to do that. So I'm going front 7. I'm going what's more likely front 7 comes up with an interception.
All righty, let's go to the final what's more likely of the day. Russell Wilson throws for over 350 yards, or Najee Harris runs for over 125.
Oh, this is a tough one. 350 yards is a lot of yards. It's a lot. It's a lot of passing yards. It's a lot of passing yards.
Najee has only ran for over 125 once, and that's his career high of 188 against Cleveland back in 2022.
He's only rushed for 125 yards one time in his career, in his entire career.
His entire career, he had 188 against Cleveland, and then he has 2 games where he had 122, but no other ones over 125.
Look, I'm born and raised in a little Italian home in a little Italian town, and my grandma told me my entire life it all comes in threes. Everything comes in threes. So you got to think Najee Harris for 100-yard rushing games are coming in threes here. If I had to guess, that means 125. I just think that you just don't have the bodies to come up with 350 passing yards. That means George Pickens has to have over 100. Calvin Austin's probably going to have over 100. You got to at least have 2 guys over 100 receiving yards to come up with 350. That's just, if Aaron Rodgers, I felt like passed for 7 billion yards last week. It was 274. That's 75 more yards. That's so many. I'm going Najee 125. That's crazy because I mean, the stat there that he's only done that once really limits your thought and really pulls you back for a second, because you would imagine he's done this before.
Yeah.
Just once is nuts. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just doesn't get those last 20 yards ever. Maybe he always just hits 100 and the Steelers are just like, yeah, we're good, man. You're good. You got 100. We'll move it on. I'm going to go 125. It might be close, but I'm going to go 125.
All right. We actually got one listener submission here from Carl Spackler, who says, what's more likely, Russell Wilson gets a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh or Baker Mayfield gets one in Tampa Bay?
Oh, I mean, you probably have a bigger shot for Baker to get one in Tampa Bay than Pittsburgh does, or than Russ does Pittsburgh, because Baker's going to spend more time there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bucs are 2 wide receivers away from a rebuild, and you got to figure out your wide receiver game again. And both of them are hurt, so chances are they're not pulling it off this year. I mean, I might be talking way too soon here, way too soon. But what's to say Russ isn't a Super Bowl contender right now? What's stopping that thought? I don't think much. The fact that he's only played 1 game, I get it. The fact that it's the New York Jets, I get it. I get it all. But what's to say that he's not a Super Bowl contender right now? And he's certainly a Super Bowl contender over Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. I'm going to go Russell Wilson. I don't like that answer. I don't like, because that means he's got to pull it off this season. But if you're going to ask me, is it more likely that Russ wins a Super Bowl this year or Baker wins one in Tampa Bay? You got to go Russell Wilson. There's just, there are a lot of quarterbacks that retire without a Super Bowl, a ton. And that is most retire without a Super Bowl. And there's a reason for that. A really good quarterback doesn't always win a Super Bowl for you. You got to have a great team. And I just don't know if Baker's a Super Bowl guy on a Super Bowl team right now. I would go Russ. And on top of that, chances are if Baker makes it to the Super Bowl and Russ is not there playing him, he's playing Kansas City. And I'm putting my odds on Kansas City every single time in that matchup. At least the Steelers have a shot to move past it and to avoid that.